if I were to do my 20s over, I would have probably stayed single. I would have been a lot more patient with myself, and I would have given myself grace. I'm gonna live my life and I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm not going to get married or have kids because society tells me that that's what I need to be doing right now. Like, hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl Shirley, and welcome to my YouTube. So I'm on a leisure drive, and I just really felt like the perfect intro to my life, or my recontinuation of YouTube, would be a very candid conversation. So, you know, you guys see me in my most natural state. We're talking no makeup, no nada, very raw. And I am entering into this very reflective period of my life. Your girl is in the last 6 to 8 months of my 20s, and I have been very reflective on what my 20s was. And for those who know, you know me, you know my story, you know, I've gone through so freaking much in my 20s, y'all. My 20s was the best years of my life, but also the most horrible years of my life. And honestly, I don't know what's coming, so I can't really dictate whether it's the best or the worst. But, you know, I've had so much happen to me in my 20s that I just felt like this would be helpful for anyone who's in their 20s now, or who can relate to the things that happen in their 20s, or who are, you know, inching in their 30s, who are just working through their 30s and experiencing the things that I experienced in my 20s. So the first lesson of my 20s has to be relationships. Like, I spent the last few years of my 20s really moving away from being so attached to relationships. I think of my last relationship, I got tired of my life always being in relation to my connection with another person. So now, entering my early 30s, I see a lot of things that I wish I never did. I also see a lot of things that I wish I could change. But you know what? They're lessons, right? They are things that really mold and shape who I am today, and I'm so grateful for the experiences. I was talking to my girlfriend, my homegirl, my bestie, and in a very deep conversation about living in a city that is geared towards older people while you're younger. And my bestie has a very unique situation, and her unique situation kind of puts her into many baskets. And the situation that my best friend is experiencing, while unique, is something that's very similar to other friends in my life who are young but navigating, you know, the life of being a parent, while also wanting to live out their youth. And, you know, I never really expected for me to actually see this firsthand, because it was always something that I saw talked about on TV or with older individuals, you know, maybe like late adulthood. We're talking individuals who are 65 and up. And it's always that conversation of sacrificing your life so that you can have what society tells you is a norm for people, both men and women in heterosexual relationships. And what that is like a family, right? So I was watching a TikTok, and in the TikTok, the girl said, while all my friends are being married and having kids, this is my life. And she gave a reel of what her life has been within the last year. And I was just like, oh, I like this. I'm gonna do this too. And after watching the video and like soaking in the video, I read the comments. And I didn't expect for the comments to be so Like, what the fuck? So in the comments, you have people saying, your youth can only be for so long. Eventually, you're gonna get tired of that. Clubs and turning up expires, but family does it. And I'm just like, I'm one of those people that I take stuff in, and I like really taking in both perspectives. So the perspective of someone who's just like, I'm excited to be living my life, and the perspective of someone who's like, I'm happy to be settled down. And that's the dichotomy of life, like, right? Like, you have people who are like, well, I could care less about having a family right now. And then you have those who are like, yeah, family means everything, and all this other shit don't matter. And one thing my best friend said in a similar conversation that literally followed me seeing that video, she said, I'm happy to see that there's a generation of women who are choosing to enjoy life before they settle down and have kids, or before they choose to have a family, so before they start family planning. And I was just like, yeah, that's real. Similar to this woman who's just like, yeah, I'm gonna live my life and I'm gonna enjoy it, and I'm not going to get married or have kids because society tells me that that's what I need to be doing right now. Like, what I want to do right now is enjoy life, and I like the life that I'm living right now. So that made me reflect on 18 to 24-year-old Shirley. And I say this a lot, but I never really dig into it. But I could truly say one of my biggest life regrets was being so caught up on relationships. And I got the opportunity to kind of like relive my 18 to 24-year-old life from 25 to 27, and that's awesome that I was able to do it in a time where I had more money and I had more time, and I could truly invest in doing things and really enjoy life. But I wish I did it when I was 18. I wish I did it when I was 22. I wish I did it when I was 21, because when I got to 25 and 26, I'd have a larger gap of time to experience more life. But being someone who was just so caught up on relationships in my youth really drained my youth. Like, when I think about a lot of the dialogue that we've been seeing lately on these podcasts that y'all keep giving these people microphones, I can't help but think about some of the things being mad real, mad true, that a lot of times, and I can't speak for the general population, I can only speak for my experience, and then of course being a therapist, I have like an extended background. But I can only think about how men truly do seek relationships with people who are going to give them grace and who are going to be malleable, easily bendable. And in my youth, I made sacrifices in order to have access to family, in order to have access to what would be family later on in life. And that meant me being in this long-term relationship with someone who may have not been the right person for me, but because I wanted love, belonging, connectedness, I chose to keep those sacrifices. And I don't know what sacrifices my partner at the time made, but I know the sacrifices that I made. And that was truly actually being able to experience college, being able to date and, expand my worldview. That thing where Gabrielle Union was like, if I had to give anybody advice, I would tell them to travel the world and have sex with men in every different city. And not the sex part, because I was very, very much only one man can have sex with me kind of girl. But yeah, I didn't get to experience that. And I, fortunately, again, I say this all the time, I think God gave my ex the power of discernment to leave. instead of like holding me hostage until he was ready to be a committed partner. If that didn't happen and I was trapped, by trapped I mean you're in a relationship with a non-committal person, but you're married and you're given a child and stuck. And this is a story for a lot of the women that I know in my life, where they are, or they were trapped. And every single one of them that I have seen who are married with children, it all happened at all of us at the same time, like 18 to 21. Ended up being middle-aged women in their early 20s. By middle-aged women, we mean people who don't go out, who stay home, watch TV, take care of the kids, be present for their husbands while their husband does what they want. You know, they have to play that very like solo role, stay home, be the homemaker, and do that while they're watching other people live their life. And they too want to, but they can't, because that is a sacrifice that they made in their marriage, in their relationship, whatever dynamic they choose. But that's what they're sacrificing in order to be whole with a family. So this is the first lesson of many that I would give anyone in their early 20s, is don't waste your youth. Like, real mad serious, don't waste it. Don't waste it on someone who's giving you the ifs, we were, and if we could, and if this happened, because if truly means that they're not ready. I've learned that when someone is ready, there's a lot more action-oriented words, like just like a resume, like action-oriented words come out. There's no if, ands, or buts. There's, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do that. And typically, dating someone so young, there's no way they can be action-oriented. Not their fault. Listen, it's life. Like, you're young. Like, the cards are not dealt that way. And sometimes it is. Some people, the 1%ers, make it out of that, the if, but that's rare. And I'm not saying to miss out on your future husband, because my situation isn't your situation, but you will avoid a lot of heartbreak and heartache if you just pay very close attention to how your partner speaks to you about the present and their desires in the future. I got the opportunity to link with a person that I felt like I wasted my youth with, and we had very deep, in-depth conversation. And after like 5 years, closure definitely finally came in my life. In that conversation, I asked all the questions that I wanted to ask, and the answer was very clear, that he was young and he knew that I was a person that he wanted to be with, but he does think it was the wrong time. If I were to do my 20s over, I would have probably stayed single, and not single and hoeing, because that's what people think. I would have just stayed single. Like, I wasn't the kind of person to go around and have sex with multiple people from the jump at that time. So I would have just stayed single, and I would have explored my options. I would have been a lot more open. I would have seen what life was like out there, and I would have made my decision from there. I wouldn't be so stuck on wanting love and belonging, and I would have been a lot more patient with myself, and I would have given myself grace instead of always leaning the grace towards my partner, because I want my partner to lead, or for whatever reason that was. I can't really tell you. I'm grown now, but yeah. So tell me what you guys think. It's more of a rant. I like rants because it seems and feels very like authentic and truthful. But yeah, that's my car rant. What y'all thinking? Comment below. And if you're new here, or if you have no idea who the hell I am, that's cool. subscribe to my channel because we're going to be having these very in-depth conversations. So this is lesson one. All right, y'all. Toodles.